My name is Dave Bruton. I'm the Utilization and Marketing Forester for the Kansas Forest Service, and today we're out here at Dan Barrow's log yard by Ottawa, Kansas, and just looking at some of the logs that he has, talking about the grades of different logs that he is marketing. And it takes people like Danny that are out there not only logging, but also trying to establish markets for these trees. And Danny has lots of different grades that he's dealing with here for his customer base, basically trying to market those to whatever the customers need. We're out here today just looking at the logging operation, or the log yard side of things, and discussing the various grades that Danny has. And so I guess that's one thing, Danny, that's kind of unusual about your operation, is the different grades of logs, and we've talked about that a little bit. And how many different grades do you have? Do you know right off the top of your head? 20-some different grades, and try to market those to the different customers to meet whatever those customers are wanting, so that they don't have a lot of waste on their side also. So they're able to buy logs that suit their particular needs, and
Absolutely.
So I appreciate all the work that you're doing on the grading aspect of it. And I guess what do you find most interesting about the logging operation or the logging industry, and working with the customers that you have?
Well, basically just trying to provide the product that we have that's suitable for the needs of the customers that we do business with. And every customer is different, so just being able to be fortunate enough to have the supply of logs all the time that we can actually feed to all the people that need some most of the time.
And so a lot of your logs are being exported internationally and out of the country, but you also dealing with some domestic operations also. And so has that been something you've seen change over the years? Is the export market, and how strong is that right now? And what percentage of logs would you say are being utilized domestically and then internationally?
Well, our domestic market would probably be less than 2%, 1% maybe of our total production. 99% of it export, and that's on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis for the past several years. Very little domestic business, and that's something that changed. But we didn't have the markets, in my earlier years that we have today, and we had to depend on a lot of domestic companies. So it basically boils down to most of the countries that buy logs being imported to them. A lot of it's a labor factor, cheaper labor, more demand, certain things that they can make that maybe ain't as much demand for in the United States.
Well, one of the things that's really unique, I think, about your operation is the aspect of when you are exporting. I mean, the logs have to be fumigated and have a certificate from the Department of Ag for exporting, and that's one thing that I know you have invested in here just within the last 2 years. I think the structure was about 2 years ago, maybe at about this point, that you finished that structure. And so are you finding that to be a good thing for you?
Well, it was a super necessity, because there was no other place that would do the kind of job that needed to be done legally, but a lot of people were getting by with it, and we wanted to have a fumigation yard and a facility where it could be done properly, and of course the building part of it that we have to have for wintertime, heated fumigation, in the cold weather. It can be done outside, but once the temperature is 40 degrees or cooler in a 24-hour period, they have to be put in a heated building, which is a huge investment, but not only for our logs, but we custom fumigate for other people if we want to also. But when you have bookings and arrival dates for the product, it's got to be taken somewhere where it can be done in a timely manner, on time, so you don't miss the booking or the rail cut. And at this facility, it gets done every time on time.
So that is something that you're doing, is I know bringing in or working with the fumigator aspect of it, and they are actually bringing in logs from other places around and custom fumigating, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
for customers that way, and then that gets shipped down the road and on the rail and trucks and things like that. So
of course, the whole key to our operation here is we're 30 minutes from Burlington Northern Santa Fe at Gardner, which is one reason that we're here. We knew that was coming before it came, and so that's why we bought this property to do with what we're doing. And of course, we didn't start until basically 7 years ago, really loading containers and exporting. But it was in our vision for several years before that. But we had to have the right location. It couldn't be somewhere else.
And so the fumigation facility, that's kind of a separate entity over there that is doing that, correct?
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, it's owned by our company, my son and I, Charlie, and which is the Dan Barrow Trading Company. That's been our company name for years. But we own all the land and all the facility and all the equipment to do that with. But we hire a fumigation company, which is also involved in loading containers and fumigating containers and delivering back to the rail. So they're kind of basically like a subcontractor of ours that does all those things. But it's, I mean, I think we have the most efficient operation of loading and fumigating and returning the rail any place, anywhere.